Hi there, Glenys Trinder here. So if you are watching this video, you are in my on my mailing list. You signed up at some stage. If you no longer wish to be here, you will scroll down to the end of the email. You'll find an unsubscribe button and that will be the end. But if you are interested, if you have been following me a while, perhaps you are actually or were in my free Facebook group. So this is what I want to talk to you about today. It's the reason why I'm getting a lot of questions as to why I've stopped the free Facebook group, and people love the free Facebook group, and I was reading cards and talking about moon and energy and manifesting for the past 3 years. And I just want to answer some of that. I also want to talk about what I did just the week before we closed. I offered a free manifesting challenge, and it was all to do with money, manifesting money, because that was the biggest thing that I was seeing coming up was struggle, lack, fear, overwhelm, anxiety over enoughness, enough, not being able to see it, not being able to charge prices in business right now, or just feeling scared for the future. So I ended, just before I closed my free group, I ended that with that free 5-day challenge. So I'm going to talk to you some more about that at the end. If you want to stay on, I'm going to give you day one's task and what we did. And over the next 5 days, I'm going to send you another email if you're interested. Each day there'll be a video on what we did and just a little bit to just finish off that 3-year relationship that I had with some of you. So basically the reason I closed the group mostly is because it was a free Facebook group. And I have totally fallen. I don't think I was ever absolutely in love with Facebook, but I have completely fallen out with it now. I don't like the way it's treating things at the moment, and I know that a lot of people are being censored and taken off. It doesn't resonate with me anymore. One of the reasons is that. The other reason is because the notifications, people were not getting the notifications that I was live. People weren't seeing it, and unless you're very regular and people are following, you're not going to get notifications. It was physically huge to hold that space in there for me, to hold that space. There were 400 and nearly 50 women in there and a couple of men as well. But it was just very, very hard work to hold it. And I also noticed that a lot of people were coming in and posting quite, I suppose, personal stuff, and I don't think that Facebook is the platform to hold that kind of thing. And I don't want to be responsible in a free group for holding that kind of space anymore. So at the start of lockdown, in March, I realized a lot of people I was noticing were hugely anxious, fearful, struggling. There was overwhelm, a lot of very heavy emotions. And I knew this was coming. Last year I spoke about the change that was coming this year because I have been following astrology and numerology, and there is a huge amount of change. Now, a lot of people felt that change, oh, I can't wait, thankfully, a change is good, and it will be. But we're going through the difficult, rocky road of it. And what I wanted to do was to help my people focus on the road ahead, on where they wanted to go, on that light at the end of the tunnel. And I completely believe that we can do this as a collective. We can change our energy, our frequency, our vibration to a higher level so that we are focusing where we want to go, and we're looking at the noise. Yes, we see it. We see the negative, the scary things that are happening all around, but we're holding our vision of what we want, and that's how we manifest. So before I finished, I spoke about manifesting money on that group, and basically the first day's task, what we did was we cleared some space. We cleared some space to bring more in. So the first day was all about clearing out, first of all, your purse, your wallet, your bag, wherever it is that you hold your money, a container for your money. It may be some people looked at going into their bank accounts and seeing what payments they were making that they no longer needed and clearing that out. That was a huge up-leveling, seeing where money was being wasted. Mostly people cleared out their wallets, their purses. They looked for receipts and things that they were holding, business cards that they didn't need anymore. They looked at whether it was clean and whether it was a beautiful purse. Was it a purse or a wallet that was somewhere that money wanted to be? Money loves you and you need to love it. So it needed to be an upgrade of a container for that. So that's one of the things we did the first day. Also, we looked at the attraction factor with the law of vibration is our emotions. So when you get excited about receiving something, if you knew something was coming and you were so absolutely excited about it coming, and you knew it for sure it was coming, you don't need to know when, you're just so excited that it's coming. That was the feeling I wanted people to get, the excitement that money was flowing. And then on that day one, people looked everywhere for money. They looked when they were cleaning out their wallets. They looked in their desk drawers. Where were they leaving money behind? Did they have uncashed in vouchers or uncashed in checks? Were they holding on to stuff that they really didn't realise they had? People were finding quite a huge amount of coins in a container that they had, just been putting money into, or people found money that they actually completely forgot they had, vouchers, all of that. So it was looking everywhere, looking at, in pockets of jeans, if you were the person to fill the laundry and there's going to be money swimming around in that, it was just looking for it everywhere with a sense of fun, behind the couch, all of those places. Also looking for it on the ground when you're out, and just looking and expecting, because when we look we find. So the other thing about that was I got them to give absolute over the top gratitude. So gratitude for finding something. If they found 1 cent, 10 pence, 50 cent, whatever it was, or a bigger amount, but giving over the top gratitude, because when money starts to flow, it starts with a trickle. And when you give gratitude, that trickle, it's, if you can imagine the analogy of there's a glass ceiling, or there's somewhere that we're blocking that flow, and that when we see a drop, a small amount of money, it's almost like there's a crack made in that glass ceiling. And as you give gratitude and expect for more, that crack gets bigger. You start to notice more. During the week, one person received, it was over £9,000 from something that she never even realised she had. It was an old, and somebody got onto her to tell her that she had an account, a savings account, that actually had over £9,000 in it, and she never realised that was ever there. She knew she'd paid into it something like 30 years ago and stopped paying and forgot about it, thought, well, I don't want that, forgot about it, and they tracked her down, and that's what. Another woman received a check or a notice that she was getting over €5,000 from an accident that she had earlier in the year, that she had expected. No, she's not going to hear about it. Her expenses were not going to be paid, and it was. This is the thing that can happen. There were small amounts and big amounts, but it was the excitement that grew from it. The last thing that we did was I produced a check in the group, just a printable check, but you can do this. Write a check to yourself from the universe. If you have a checkbook, just peel out one of your own checks. Write yourself a check. What would you like to have on that? And sign it the universe if you want to do that. You can draw your own check. What would you put on that check? Would you write it for hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions? And think about that before you write it. When you feel that a number, how does it feel? What feelings do you get? Do you feel excited, or do you feel, well, I'll never get that? Look at how you're feeling and write that check. If you think, a number is too much, think of an even bigger number. and feel how that feels, and then bring it down to a number that you feel is a little stretch and write that check. And I'll be back in your inbox tomorrow if you're willing to have me in there. If not, please do click the unsubscribe button down below. I don't want people listening to me if they're not gaining benefit from this. So love you all, even if I'm not going to see you in my free group. By the way, I still have a business page on Facebook. It's just called Glenys Trinder, Facebook.com/Glenys Trinder. So I will be posting a video or something there every week. You can find me on Instagram at Glenys.Trinder, and I will be around. So take care of yourself, and love you all. Bye for now.